Thanks for stopping by my channel. This is Anna's Aqua Home, where I sew, craft, and DIY. I make things both to decorate my home and to give as gifts. Today I wanted to show you a project that I was working on where I actually upcycled some clothes. So you'll see I'm cutting those up as I'm talking to you on the video. So where did I get these clothes? I was volunteering at a church thrift store, and we had several yard sales that we were sorting clothes for, and we had a pile to be sold in the thrift store that was nice quality, no stains, no rips. And then there was the yard sale things that was just a little bit worn, and then there was the trash pile that had stains or rips. So I actually pulled a couple shirts from that trash pile. They were my colors, I liked the fabric, and I decided to go ahead and pull them and cut them up and see if I could upcycle them into other projects. So I'm not working on the projects today in this video. I've already used a project in one video, but I figured I would go ahead and spend the time to cut them all up so that when I actually go to do my projects, they're ready to go and I won't have to take that extra time. When I pulled these shirts, I didn't immediately have an idea. For one of them I did, and then for the other couple I just knew that I wanted to save them and I would see. And let me tell you, there's nothing like pretty fabric just sitting around your craft space to really motivate you to come up with a project for it. So for these shirts, I'm pretty much just turning them inside out and then cutting the usable fabric that I have. I'm cutting around any stains and pretty much just taking the seams off so that when I go to use it, I just have fabric with no seams involved. There were a couple that I kept some seams just because I thought maybe I wanted a seam there or maybe I could work with it. But I had a button-down shirt, a jersey knit shirt, and then another blouse that was really pretty. It had some pretty lace bits on it, and that's the one I've already used so far. I thought this would be a good video also to talk about where you can find material to sew and craft with. I know there's a lot of talk with Joann's going out of business, and I would love to know what you think about that, whether that's going to impact your sewing and crafting space a lot. I grew up with the Joann's. That was really our only fabric store. So for many years, I remember going to Joann's from a very little child. My mom had a small business where she sold quilt kits, so we were always going to Joann's, it felt like, and I loved it. But I have not been there in years. I actually went twice in the past couple months because they're going out of business, and so I thought maybe I would go and see if there was anything that I wanted, and the one was packed full of fabric, but there really wasn't anything that I wanted or I was drawn to. The second one I went to, it had a lot of fabric, but the minimum cut was 2 yards. And I like doing a bunch of small projects, so if it had been a yard, I probably would have been tempted to get like 3 or 4 yards of a couple different fabrics. Because it was a 2-yard minimum cut, I decided against it and I didn't get any. There were none that I really had to have. Since I'm not buying at Joann's, where am I getting my sewing fabric? Most of the time I get it at Hobby Lobby. I am a complete Hobby Lobby girl. I love it. My husband knows as we're driving down, if it's a new area, he'll be like, oh, don't look to the right. And yeah, it'll be a Hobby Lobby. I absolutely love them. I know where all the close ones are around in this area. And now actually back home also has a Hobby Lobby. So even when I go home for the holidays, I can shop at Hobby Lobby. But besides that, I know they have a great section. For me, again, I'm not doing like a business. I'm just sewing for my own personal enjoyment and obviously sharing it on this YouTube channel. But a lot of people have said that the selection isn't very good, and I totally get that. It probably isn't super stocked. There probably aren't enough options for everyone. But for me, with the little projects I'm doing, there would be a lot of projects I could do with their selection. And they do rotate through their fabrics. So for me right now, Hobby Lobby is where I get most of my fabrics because you can also get them on a really good deal. The second place I get fabric at is actually, I haven't heard a bunch of people talking about it, and it's Walmart. Our Walmart has a fabric section. I don't know if everyone does or not. I know for a long time they got rid of the fabric section and then they brought it back in some. Ours has a bunch of nice bolts of fabric and pre-cuts. I think they're moving more towards the pre-cuts. But actually a lot of the ones that I do on my channel are fabrics that I got from Walmart last year. I came across a great deal. They were $2 a yard. And I got a whole bunch of fabrics, and that's what I've been sewing with. The quality isn't quilt shop, but the quality is really nice. For small projects that you're making around the house and even to give as gifts, the quality I think is fine. I've not had a problem with it. Now, the quality of their fat quarters, that's debatable. I don't know. But definitely Walmart might be a place where you check out. I know, again, the selection isn't great, but it may be worth it to you to go find some prints. Now, those are some places that you can go and get brand new fabric. But I know a lot of people, I've been listening to YouTubers who said, what are we going to do without Joann's? And a lot of them I really like have turned to where you can get thrifted and upcycled fabrics, like at the thrift store. And then using different things for fabric. So like using bed sheets. Bed sheets have a lot of yardage, maybe sewing some with that, or getting vintage fabrics from the thrift store. A lot of thrift stores have a craft and fabric section, and maybe it's not brand new off the bolt, but you can still get some great deals. And then of course what I did today is upcycling these clothes, these shirts, and turning them into project. It's not new off the bolt, but it gives me access to some different kinds of fabrics. One of these shirts is rayon, one is jersey knit, and one is a cotton gauze fabric. So it gives me not just quilting cottons, but some yardage from some different fabrics that I really like the design of. I've seen a lot of people going and getting skirts, because skirts at the thrift store have a lot of yardage. So you're able to just cut a few seams off and use the skirt for your project. I've also seen men's button-down shirts. A lot of these are plaid, and one lady I saw, it was so beautiful. She did a whole quilt with plaid blocks from men's button-down shirts, and it was really, really pretty. So I'm definitely on the lookout for some aqua button-down shirts to use in a couple projects. But those are a couple great options. Not only is it fabric that's pretty cheap, but it's also a great way to upcycle and keep it out of the landfill. It worked really well for me to rescue these from the trash pile and cut them up and use them as decoration around my home. One other place I want to mention that I get my fabric, and this is kind of surprising. I've actually been getting quite a few of my fat quarters. So a fat quarter is about 18 by 15 inches. And they're great for little projects. I've been getting a lot of my fat quarters at the Dollar Tree. Believe it or not, they have come out with so many cute fabrics that, yeah, you're not going to do a big project with it, just a small one, but still for keychains, little baby blankets, little small decorations, small pouches, you really only need a fat quarter. And Dollar Tree has some really, really nice ones. They actually just have this really soft, like minky fabric. And I got a couple of those. I'm just shocked at the quality and also the patterns. Again, when I went to Joann's, I didn't get any fabric. And then when I stopped at the Dollar Tree on my way home, there was a big box full of fat quarters. And so I went and got like maybe 3 or 4 fat quarters. And the $1.25 price range, it's a pretty good price range. So those are some ideas. I'd love to know, what do you think about where to get fabric? Would you upcycle fabric from clothes and thrift store finds? Let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions, let me know. And stay tuned on my channel for the projects that I'm going to be making with these upcycled fabrics from clothes. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you got some ideas. I enjoyed talking with you. Have a great day.